This NFL Picks Week 13 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code SGPN to score up to $1,000 in bonus cash. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. Is this Sports Gambling Podcast before light? We had after dark last night. Now we got before light.
Yeah, morning. We are trying to jam in the entire week of shows into 2 days. So up against it, we are content machines, content warriors. Hashtag beast mode engage. We can't complain. I mean, it's we're talking National Football League Thanksgiving Day picks. Yes, if you're watching live, very early. SGP and Coffee is the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Checking in. How's that West Coast time working for y'all today? Stefan wants to know.
What does that mean?
I think it's because it's early, right?
Yeah, love it. Always love the West Coast time. Best sports watching time zone in the States.
I would say the Mountain Time. Mountain Time. Get that extra hour. I think would be my favorite time zone.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%. I think that's the sweet spot you want to be. Like an 11 a.m. kick.
It's not even NFL. Symmetrical. An odd number. 11. Very strange. And then the second game started at 2:25. No one would be. I wouldn't be able to figure that out.
No, I mean.
Plus, I'm old now. I'm up early. There's no point in waiting an extra hour.
What time did you wake up today, Ryan?
Without an alarm, woke up at 5 o'clock.
All right, that's.
I knew I had.
Do you like Huey Lewis in the news, Ryan? That
nope.
Doesn't that feel a bit psychotic? Waking up at 5 a.m. without an alarm?
No. I think when you, that's the free time. That's when I have. That's when I have my quiet time. No one's up in the house. I can handicap some NFL games. I knew I had to do some final preparations before we did this morning, so my body was ready to go. And I can't imagine I got to sleep before 2. Just grinding away.
Rise and grind. But hey, we got the Thanksgiving holiday coming up, and mega merch sale. Everything must go. The Black Friday sale. It starts on Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving through Sunday, 25% off everything when you use the promo code Black Friday in the merch store. I got my DGen University mug, which I love. I got the DGen University hoodie. The DGen University stuff looks great. Got a bunch of good stuff in there. Jake just added some new holiday shirts, that kind of stuff. Your favorite SGPN shows, their gear, the hats, can't beat them. So much great stuff in the store. Promo code Black Friday.
Yeah, great gifts. If you're not good at buying gifts, very easy.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah. Maybe you got a buddy, your dad, send him a SGPN gift card. That's easier. Get him. So even the water bowl for the dog in your holiday gift guide.
Easy. Again, a dog's never going to say that's a crappy bowl.
No.
Dog's never going to roll their eyes and be like, oh, you don't even know me.
Not especially with our bowl. It's high handmade quality shit, as they say in Happy Gilmore.
I've had one sitting outside for the better part of the last 6 months. It does well, all weather. I don't want to fully advertise that. But all weather.
Stefan saying sober picks for this pod. Let's see how this goes.
What does that mean? How do you know I'm sober?
Yeah,
what the hell is that?
You assuming Ryan?
Just judging a book by its cover.
You assuming Ryan is sober is a miscalculation on your mind in your handicapping of the handicapper.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was inebriated. I helped manage a team to build Hulu, so at 8 a.m. So get ready for it. Again, judging a book by its cover. First the Italian slander. Now you're telling us we're sober at 7 a.m. Not cool.
Taking a look at the picks from last week, not great. We were able to still go 2-3 on the Circa Million, considering I was 5-8, you're 4-9, Ryan, but we both hit a lock in there somehow. I don't know. To me, the biggest
just felt weird, Sean, because it was bad week number 2. Of course, week 2 was the worst week of my season, 4-11-1.
Yeah.
But the fact that I hit one of my smash plays this weekend, which you would have won at any number with the Packers, so, avoided complete catastrophe.
Yeah, it's weird. I've had 2 5 and 8 weeks, so it hasn't dipped below that, but certainly want to pick things up here. Although we're still sitting at 53% in the Circa Million, so don't let us get hot. How many? When's the last quarter for the Circa Million? It's starts week 15 then?
Believe so.
Okay. So we are in this quarter
halfway home, or no, 3. There's 2 5. I forget what they've done now, but yeah, there's 2 5-week quarters, right? 5, 5, 4, 4.
That would be 18 weeks. Yeah. So you're right. So yeah, I don't know which week is if it's the last 5, that kind of makes sense there.
The dream of cashing a quarter, maybe the last quarter for us.
Yeah, well, because even to hit a quarter, you can only get like 1 or 2 wrong. But hey, we're above 500 in the Circa Million. Let's
6 losing weeks in the Circa Million. Not the best.
53% though. That's what a professional handicapper is, Ryan. 53%. We're getting it done.
If we're reviewing the tape too, if you look at like us combined, we've each had 5 losing weeks. 4 of those weeks overlap, and so obviously those were bad Circa Millions weeks. But somehow we got another bad week in there. We really got to do some self scouting. How did I go 11-5? You went 9-7, and we still went 2-3 that week in Circa Million.
Yeah, sometimes the game selection is the hardest part. Not this week though. Let's go.
All right. Anything else you want to touch on from last week? The Monday night game.
No, I mean the Monday night for me, the Chargers. They're a team that I got to remind myself they are a good team. They are well coached, but then they're missing that top tier talent. Like
you were just cursing Justin Herbert.
He was missing some throws, and then obviously he hit Quentin Johnson a number of times. Someone immediately commented, "Oh, of course this happens when you guys like Quentin Johnson in the props." I mean, I what do you expect us to catch the ball for Quentin Johnson? The idea that he was getting a bunch of targets, a bunch of workload, I think was an accurate prediction. Yes, he needed to catch the ball, but he had been pretty reliable. So like he was having a good year going into this game. It got completely derailed.
That's a great way to put it. If only he caught the ball, it would have been a great game.
Well, it's not, and a lot of them weren't contested catches like that. That one where he was open in space. That was one of those game-changing plays.
You know what that reminded me of?
It was right in his hands.
Evan Ingram. That was something Evan Ingram would have done. Full speed, complete, massive play loading. Oops, my hands failed me again.
If Decker's listening, he may want to plug his ears. But there was a lot of what I saw in Herbert last night. Kind of reminded me of one Carson Wentz, Ryan, because there was a lot. Hey,
no.
A lot of receivers dropping balls, a lot of excuses being made for him. Oh, he
throws such a nice ball.
And then when the game's out of hand, all of a sudden he comes storming back, running all over the place. Oh, those penalties, those aren't his fault. He throws a catchable ball most of the time.
Well, last night was a nail in the coffin of Herbert can win the MVP also.
Yeah. Never saw. Yeah, I mean, you're almost better off betting. Well, I don't think there's any value in hopping in the MVP race right now. Not even at Saquon Barkley, which I like Saquon Barkley, but if you were going to take a running back, you need like 100-1, and you need it preseason.
It honestly highlights the ridiculousnly of this Saquon experience right now. He's not winning the MVP. Why are large bets are?
We're having a discussion.
But we know that there's a 0% chance he wins the award.
Even as a huge Saquon Barkley fan, it was great to witness greatness in person Sunday night at beautiful SoFi Stadium. Yeah, even as a huge Saquon Barkley fan, you should not be taking him at 5-1 if you have a 65 to 1, 100 to 1, 200 to 1, 300 to 1 preseason,
brag about the CLV.
You might want to sell it now. Take it over to prop swap, and because I'm with you.
I want to see people buying those tickets. Mop alert. Complete mop play. You can't play a running back. Come on. All right. Yeah, no, not much to add. But definitely you want to check out we did do a bonus prop show. Check that out. Gave out a slew of props for the Turkey Day extravaganza with Man in the Box. And yeah, let's talk about those games from a point spread perspective, Sean. As always, we get the classic that no one asked for, the Detroit Lions early on Thanksgiving, especially on the left coast in the good time zone. 9:30 a.m. Sean.
See, if we're in Mountain Time, Ryan, 10:30. It doesn't impact you because you're never watching these, but 10:30 would be a perfect.
I'm shocked by your Mountain Time zone take right now.
Really? What's shocking about it?
Just things end an hour later.
Yeah, I'm fine with staying up an hour later.
Okay.
I'm not looking to go to bed at 8:30 on a Monday night.
No, I'm just saying you get the late night after dark stuff that starts at 7:30, 8:30 our time. Now you're. Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay. This is a wild take.
How is it? I'm
just
wild?
shocked. It's very clear that Pacific time zone's the best because it just pushes everything back. You're not sleeping in to 10 o'clock on a Sunday. Yeah, the pregame show would be at 10 a.m. Sean, everything would be.
Oh, that'd be great.
Oh, that would be great.
Perfect.
Where is
timing.
this coming from?
Perfect time for the pregame.
What are you going
show.
to a dance club on a Saturday night and get that extra?
No, but
rest?
I would like an extra hour Sunday morning. Yeah, that would be perfect actually.
But it's not really an extra hour because you're just going to bed later because the games end later Saturday night.
It's one way to look at it.
You're just trading time. All right, it is a flat circle after all. Detroit, technically, I marked it as a look ahead spot because they play next Thursday against the Green Bay Packers. Don't think it's relevant. The Detroit Lions hosting the Chicago Bears. Like I was mentioning, it's the tradition and classic that no one asked for, except for the Lions are good now, Sean. 10-1 overall, 9-2 ATS. Almost unbelievable. There's no gas pedal in this Dan Campbell mobile. It's almost like the Magic School Bus. Imagine the Magic School
break.
Oh, sorry. What did I say? No
gas pedal.
No break. Imagine if Dan Campbell was the bus driver of the Magic School Bus. There'd be a lot of interesting tools on that thing. -550 for the Lions. 48 is the total. Bears a massive money line, which you always have to think about when you're talking about the Lions on Thanksgiving. But we keep having the same thesis with this Lions team when we bet against them. They're just trying in every game. How can I possibly go against that?
No, yeah. I mean, I thought last week was the one where the Colts might be able to backdoor, and yeah, there was just no chance. This Lions team is a machine.
Massive spread though.
Of course, last year they have a revenge game, I think, from last year where they got destroyed by the Packers. Packers were like 8.5 point dogs in Detroit, won outright. Dan Campbell and Jared Goff are 0-3 straight up together on Thanksgiving. Also, although somehow they're 2-1 ATS.
Isn't that the motivation Dan Campbell needs to keep the gas pedal down?
Yeah, and I think this is a really tough spot for the Bears, right? Because they fought back, they gave it their all, they got that game to overtime, they recovered an onside kick, they backdoored the 3.5. I don't think you can. Do you dump the Gatorade if you backdoor that 3.5? They're coming off an overtime game and then going on the road in a short week, and this isn't Thursday night football. This is Thursday, very like early first kickoff.
I'll tell you what, right now, the Lions, they have the Bears this week, and then they go and they play the Bears have the Niners on. The Lions have the Packers on deck, then Buffalo, and then at Chicago. That's the game we fade them. That's the game we take Chicago with all the points outside.
Eberflus is 1-15 straight up versus teams with a 60% winning percentage, and favorites have been.
What's that mean? He's not good at coaching against good teams.
Yeah, he doesn't. If he's a dog by a decent number, he's not going to win outright. Favorites of 10 points or more. 9-0 ATS on Thanksgiving since 2005, and 11-0 ATS in the wild card era. Basically, for the most part, and I think last year may have thrown people off the scent. In general, if you are a big favorite on Thanksgiving, you win, you cover. 29-5 straight up, 25-9 ATS favorites of 7 or more. There's just a lot of stuff pointing towards this Lions team. I think if you're making a case for the Bears have been playing slightly better football the past couple weeks, but they just keep figuring out ways to win or ways to lose in heartbreaking fashion. Now, certainly that maybe use that as a positive, like, hey, they're going to figure out a way to stick around in this game to maybe backdoor it. We did mention the optimism for Caleb Williams rushing yards against this Aaron Glenn defense. So I think that's a fun angle to attack, but yeah, I'm taking the Lions laying the 10.5. It's chalky. I don't even know if it's a donkey play. I mean, I think it's almost the other way. Getting cute is taking the Bears and talking yourself into them.
Just so we don't, I want to read the scores for the Lions last couple of years. Lost 29-22. Lost.
Well, that was the waxing gibbous moon, if you recall.
Against the Packers. Bills lost 28-25. Bears lost 16-14. Texans lost 41-25. Bears lost 24-20. Bears lost 23-16. Vikings lost 30-23. They've yes, they're due. I think Dan Campbell uses this as motivation.
To your point, don't you think he gets them up for this game?
Every time they've failed in a spot, the next time they face that spot, they don't let down. And so, yeah, I'm kind of with you. Also, I think you want to talk about a Josh Allen MVP, or sorry, a Jared Goff MVP moment. Perhaps we can put up some numbers here because he's still flirting. I mean, he's sitting in the same range as Saquon Barkley right now, which obviously he's a much better bet. Probably the 1 seed quarterback. You don't think so?
I don't know, Ryan.
You don't think a quarterback, so starting quarterback?
You're telling me a quarterback might win it over running back?
I think Jalen Hurts is a better bet than Saquon Barkley.
No, I would still take Saquon over Jalen Hurts, but yes,
it would be a double. They would give Jalen Hurts the MVP and Barkley would get the offensive player.
It is pretty awesome to see Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and AJ Brown all on the first page of the MVP odds. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, which means none of them will win it. It's like the Heisman. Can't have too many candidates from one team. Otherwise, how valuable could they possibly be? Game number 2. Again, for those who aren't aware, I will be off the grid. Please do not spoil these games for me. I'll be coming back on the grid Saturday, watching them all on my TiVo. Dallas Cowboys, Sean, first public team we're going to talk about this week, which is absolutely just amazing. Laying 4 points. Cooper Rush is catching 82% of the bets, over 80% of the money, minus 200 on the money line. Giants plus 176. 38's the total. Tommy DeVito looks like he's going to be able to play through the pain. Although, yeah, I think
now the pain. Do you mean of Baker Mayfield ridiculing his touchdown celebration?
I think the pain of the overt Italian American racism and the pain of whatever happened to his ribs last game. Meanwhile, Cooper Rush and the Cowboys offense coming off a huge performance against Cliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn, and
this is great because I'm always going to be on the Giants in this spot, but the fact that now I thought, and I misread the situation, I thought it was going to be Cowboys laying down against Washington, and then I was worried they might get up for this Thanksgiving game. The fact that they won outright, the fact that they wasted 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns against that Commanders team. I mean, I'm always looking to fade a team coming off a victory as a double-digit dog, and now you're a favorite. Like just historically in the NFL, if you looked at that situation, winning outright as a double-digit dog and then favored on a short week at home,
it's the obvious. It's the opposite of the close your eyes special.
Yeah, and let's read how the Cowboys have done at home so far this season. Right,
a light reading.
Well, first home game, they lost 44-19 against the Saints, but that Saints team, they're a juggernaut. Ravens, they lost 28-25. Okay, fine. It's the Ravens. Lions, nice little revenge game for the Lions, 47-9.
Tough spot.
Eagles came in, worked them pretty good, 34-6. Even the Texans who lost to Will Levis. Lost to Will Levis and the Titans, and shout out to Will Levis for I don't know if he's making us look dumber or
no smarter,
less dumb.
If his last 3 games were his first 3 games and he had 800 passing yards,
yeah, he has 800 passing yards in 3 games.
To
so
slide this,
we weren't completely insane. Texans 34-10, and they got the Giants coming up. So Texans 34-10 has been their closest home loss in a while. Oh man, this is the perfect spot for your Giants, Ryan. How did the Giants get it done? We again check out the Thanksgiving prop show, but
idea.
I think that
Cowboys can't stop the run. Cowboys can't run the ball.
Yeah,
I think that's the answer.
Theo Johnson getting it done, I think, is a good spot for them.
Oh, I did give out a banger of a DGen parlay for Thanksgiving.
Cowboys have been really bad ATS. Now again, you may have got sidetracked because they destroyed Washington last year, but they've been 1-4 ATS in their last 5, 2-11 ATS in their past 13 Thanksgiving games. I always wonder, Ryan, why am I so good at handicapping on Thanksgiving? And then I look at the Cowboys 2-11 ATS last 13 games.
I was just you got me distracted with the Will Levis talk, and I was just looking at how many yards he has. He's currently 28th in the league. Who do you think is first in the league in passing yards right now? You might know this answer. You're locked in knower of ball, but it might surprise you also because his preseason odds were 75-1.
Geno Smith.
Geno Smith is 18 yards behind Lamar Jackson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't factor in Lamar.
I mean, we kind of touched on it. We threw it to the side because of his love.
Well, he's
running,
just always. So
you want to talk about what locks up him? If he leads the league in passing, he's the MVP.
What brought that up, Ryan?
Oh, I was looking at Will Levis.
Oh, okay.
28th in the league. He's 1,500 yards behind Lamar.
It is funny to see Jameis and him Jameis is nipping at his heels.
Oh my God, Sean. All right, so I'll share this from my account, but the Browns put out a 13-minute mini documentary that was just Jameis mic'd up for the Thursday night game.
Oh, it was awesome.
If you've not sat down and watched the entire 13 minutes, I highly recommend it. Jameis is a national treasure, and let the man have some fucking crab legs already. Miami.
So any explanation on how the Giants cover the 4? Right?
I just said the one bright spot has been the running game, assuming Tyrone Tracy can hold on to the ball. I also think Tommy DeVito game 2.
Once he gets going,
I don't know if that's a good thing.
Once he gets cooking, hey, look out!
I also think
if that sauce needs a little bit to marinate.
If I was gonna bet on something happening, offense is generally more about the players you have. Defense is more about effort. Dexter Lawrence calling out the entire defense for being soft and a bunch of bitches. I'd expect the defense to get up a little bit in this one. So that would be the difference. Pass rush and the running game +4. They win and don't cover. That's my prediction for every Giants game. Green Bay, Miami. This is an interesting one, Sean. I feel like over the last, decade or whenever they introduced the Thursday night Thanksgiving Day game, it's more often than not been an interesting kind of rivalry. This one's a very strange spot. Dolphins, Packers. First of all, strange jersey combo. You're going to confuse some people who only watch football on Thanksgiving. It's going to be look like a college matchup, maybe Coastal versus UTEP or something. The Dolphins, of course, traveling to Green Bay, which I'm sure Sean will tell you how Tua does outside in the cold. I'm sure Sean will tell you how Tua does against good teams. But before we do that, I'll let you know the spread is only 3. The Packers are laying 3 -170. Dolphins +150. Shocking to me as well. 47 is the total. I hate this, Sean, because I know I'm going to be betting the Jordan Love interception, and I know because that's just been a printing press. It's only not cashed 1 week that he's started this year. But how do we find ourselves to fading the public narrative of Tua sucks in the cold and Tua sucks against good teams?
I don't know if we need to. Tua's 0-7 in games under 40 degrees. I think some of that might be dating back to college. And
his whole life.
No, I mean Miami franchise is done bad in temperature in 32 degrees or colder, 11-28 straight up, including losing their last 9 games in cold temperature. Since beating the Steelers in 2013, who is their quarterback? You should know this one.
Since wait, say that again.
They beat the Steelers in 2013. That was their last cold weather victory.
I mean,
who was there?
Tannehill.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And then favorites have done well in the Thanksgiving night spot.
Tannehill's a cold weather quarterback, though.
This is, I mean, and I think I have to start giving this Dolphins team, their defense, a little bit more credit. I think they've played very well defensively these past few games in spots I didn't think maybe they would have as like the fact that they came in to the Rams in LA and shut them down like they didn't let them score a touchdown. I think that was a nice game. Obviously they handled the Pats, but Pats have a lot of flaws. It's weird because
Rams might have a lot of flaws too.
Yeah, but certainly they have some weapons.
You just watched them in person get their ass beat.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but the fact that you hold the Rams team at home without a touchdown, I think is impressive defensively for the Dolphins going on the road and shutting them down like that. I just think I need to start upgrading how I view this Dolphins defense. I think this is setting up to be a pretty ugly game. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a 21-17 type game, 17-10. Tyreek Hill has really not been involved in the offense. Kind of weird. Jalen Waddle had a massive game. Jonnu Smith certainly smashed for them. So it's kind of a weird. This isn't your run and gun Miami Dolphins team. They're not taking a bunch of deep shots. It's more about the efficient passing game and playing good defense. So in some ways that does set them up more for success than historically. But this is. Just going on the road Thursday night on a short week like this is always going to be brutal. I think Green Bay is the better team, and laying the 3 I think is a great price. So I'm on the Packers here.
I think the biggest difference, especially between the Packers and maybe the Rams and some of the other teams that the Dolphins have faced recently, is the offensive line. I don't know if the Dolphins defensive line is going to be able to wreck some stuff as much as they have the last couple of weeks. And I would even include, Rams, Raiders. You can even include the last game too, the Patriots. But I think the Packers will be the best offensive line situation they face. I think the Packers will be the best running situation they face. Jordan Love obviously will give them chances. But the cold weather also, like the entire Miami team. I mean, McDaniel's going to look cold. Tua's going to look cold. Tyreek's going to look slower because the field is frozen tundra.
I mean, remember that. Look at what they did again. Now, certainly, obviously, the Chiefs are a better team, but remember how bad Tua looked in Kansas City in that super cold game where
fumble prop is supposedly
live. I also I was talking to Bet Detective about it. Remember those stories about like. Thousands of Chiefs fans dying of hypothermia and their limbs freezing off. I just want to know where the photos, what's going on. Like I was very skeptical of that story.
Yeah. All we have to do is go back to the 2007 season. It was the year 2008. Giants are playing the Packers in Lambeau, and Tom Coughlin's
face
stood in that sub-zero weather as an old man for hours and his face recovered. It looked like his face had frozen in the moment, but it recovered. So I think maybe much to do about nothing. Shout
out to the random meander in the chat saying McDaniel going to be wearing the capri pants.
Maybe with a wetsuit underneath.
Oh man. If he wears, I wish it was colder. It was just a classic. Hey, there's this narrative. We can't play in the cold. We're going to show them we can play in the cold. We're going to get t-shirts made up. It sounds great in theory, but then when you guys still struggle in the cold, you just look, it just looks so bad.
Yeah. When the message is strong and wrong, it just makes you look silly. Last thing I would say, I saw the chat mentioning there's some 3.5s out there. Yeah, definitely want to shop this one. What does it tell you, Sean, that the places with flat 3, Circa, Westgate, Bet Online, a lot of I would say the sharp places have 3.5 more at the chalkier places. What does that mean? Are the sharps betting Miami this week, Sean?
I don't know. What do the betting splits say?
That's the betting splits. They suggest that it's fairly split. But yeah, I mean, I guess slightly smaller amount of bets, slightly more dollars. It is just interesting to see the sharper books all have the 3, and the places like DK have the 3.5.
MyBookie.ag, Ryan. You can go over there. You can get the Packers right now, laying 3 points, and use that promo code SGPN. Get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. You get the $10 free casino chip. Don't let the D-gens get hot.
You know I'm a degenerate.
I mean, if you don't have a crazy MyBookie 1,001 Thanksgiving parlay cooking on Thursday, what are you even doing with yourself? Can you even call yourself an American? And by that I mean, even if you're listening internationally, you are all, in my mind, Ryan, you're all Americans for that day. And if you want to be, also if you want to be American, come on over. This is what America's all about. Celebrate football. It's a great football celebration. The perfect football holiday. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. You get the faster crypto deposits and payouts, a faster bet settlement, early cash out. They new live betting and streaming. They got it all. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN, 100% match up to $1,000. Promo code SGPN.
Yeah, just make sure you follow the rules when you come into this country and to watch football, please.
What are the rules?
I don't know.
No teasing through zero.
Yeah, no. There's a lot of heat around the immigration process, so we need to make sure we have the proper form. So we don't tease through zero. We like pleasers that are further away from zero.
Yeah,
you take the 2.5. You don't. That'd be funny to have a gambling.
My immigration. Yeah, my immigration. We need
multiple choice test. Do you?
We need a gambling Ellis Island. Hey, you want to come to this country? Great. Are you a Cowboys fan? Oh, sorry, country's full.
Oh, your name is, or we just change all the Cowboys fans' names like they did at Ellis Island. Yeah. No, we don't like that name.
Your name is now
Long. Cox.
Oh, you're a Cowboys fan. All right, your last name is now Ag. First name douche.
So yeah, the Oxmal family is apparently massive. They're all named Mike, and they're all huge Cowboys.
No, it's fans. a small family, very small family. If they're Cowboys fans. All right, technically the fourth game of Thanksgiving, as many people are seeing it, especially contest type outlets like the Circa. We got a little Black Friday action, Sean, in the middle of the day. I mean, what people not doing anything? They're just should put NFL football on noon on a Friday, Sean. What?
I like the Black Friday game, but to me, this is a primetime game. Is it a Friday? They're scared of Friday night. Is that the problem here? Yeah, which I don't get. I think maybe it's because there's some high school football maybe that's Friday night, and it's that weird thing where they don't want to compete. I think there is that weird ruling where the NFL was basically gifted the monopoly. Part of it was they weren't going to play games on Friday nights within a certain window, and I honestly think that could be the issue. It could be because it's like an FTC, like whoever who's it's the FTC or the SEC. Yeah, the Federal Trade Commission. I'm pretty sure ruled back in the day. It was like when the AFL and NFL merged. They ruled that like, hey, this feels like a monopoly, but as long as you guys don't destroy high school football or college football, we're okay with it. Okay, here's the rule. The law states that there can be no professional football games on Friday nights after 6 p.m. or Saturday from the second weekend of September through the second weekend of December. Yeah. It applies to any professional games that are within 75 miles of a high school. So every professional team in the country. If you're wondering why the UFL isn't playing, it applies to all professional football, right? Yeah, interesting. Poor UFL. But yeah, this rule aside, I would like to have had it at night game because I mean I remember last year I was at the Circa, and Circa's you know it's a great environment at the Circa, but like Friday noon in Vegas on Black Friday it was just kind of low energy. I mean the game was Jets Dolphins. It was kind of a shit show to begin with. I know you're not gonna believe this, Sean, but before I went off the grid for Thanksgiving. I'm a big fan of Thanksgiving in Vegas. It's a very strong time to be there because you do have football, lots of gambling opportunities, and it's generally a pretty quiet weekend out there. It's not super smashed. You can get great Thanksgiving food. I'm honestly like if you're not someone who's tied to like a family situation. Yeah, if you're a young dude in your 20s, cheap time to get out there during. It is fun because you can get like two you can get 2 football Sundays, like Thursday.
Oh, more than that.
Friday,
you got the college on Friday,
Saturday. Yeah, it is.
Got college basketball going hot and heavy.
Feast week.
So yeah, and pretty much all these nice restaurants are offering sick ass Thanksgiving spreads.
I mean,
too.
not to give free plugs to Barry's, but they have a bunch of
I think it's already sold out though.
No, okay.
Yeah, so we can.
Won't give their free plug for their holiday meals.
They only were making 200 of them, Sean. But yeah, I mean, we also this is Kermit Bowl Part 2. Does that matter?
I don't know.
I guess did I even say the spread? I don't think I did. Mine Chiefs laying 13. What channel is this one on? Minus 700 on the money line.
It's Amazon Prime.
550 for the Raiders. 42 is the total.
That's a comical difference. And I think the Raiders record is wrong there.
Oh yeah.
But the Chiefs being 10-1 and 4-7 ATS just makes no sense.
Well, no, I guess
it does.
It makes perfect sense. This is what that team has been this year. They're not what everyone thinks they are. AK Mahomes is still the 5th favorite to win the MVP, but they're still good enough to win the games because they're fucking good. And even when they play bad, like last week, bad showing for their defense, bad showing overall, almost lose a game to Carolina. But the flip of that is complete flat spot. Most teams do actually blow that game. Yeah. And they did not.
And they were winning by 11 there on the number for a big portion, let Carolina backdoor it. And then, I still don't know how they got that game almost overtime. And then Kansas City rolled over, decided to wake up and go down and get the game winning field goal. Mahomes feels like when he wants to run, he can kind of get whatever he wants. I mean, Desmond Ridder is the starting quarterback here in Kansas City.
Is that 100%? Aiden O'Connell is going to be in the mix too. So there's a chance we have a 2 quarterback system.
Yeah. I mean,
it's Antonio Pierce though. And it does seem like I did. I don't know. I mean, is Desmond Ridder giving you confidence? He's clear downgrade from Gardner Minshew to me.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, and obviously the Chiefs, the last time they lost was to this Raiders team at home on Christmas. So intense. I mean, but also the Kermit thing, they already got their revenge in Vegas. How motivated are they going to be? This is a short holiday weekend. This is tough because do you think the Raiders have a chance at winning this game outright? No, not at all. Right. But then on the other side,
I absolutely do.
Oh, you think they have a chance that they're live?
It's just silly season.
Yeah.
I think also you just, I mean,
I'm taking the Raiders because 13 is way too much for this Kansas City team that refuses to put teams away. But I don't know how they're going to hang around, but they will hang around. Amir Abdullah had like the game of his life to almost get that cover. Of course, they were going up against Bo Nix and the Broncos, so it was never going to be a win or cover for the Raiders. But.
Yeah, I mean they've covered 3 of the last 4 in Kansas City. And to your point, the win last year, I don't know if it gives me confidence or because I don't see that as a revenge spot for the Chiefs. I feel it's more circled around the Kermit shit, if anything. But we just have to take the points against the Chiefs if it's double digits. I can't think of a team I wouldn't take double digits points here against the Chiefs.
And shout out to Jay in the chat saying, Ryan, where are we at on the war on the leans, likes, and locks guys? Well, we are going to be.
Honestly, my plan was I'll pull back the curtain. I was going to surprise the people, schedule some tweets for first touchdown on Thanksgiving, but I was also going to have basically putting out things I'm thankful for. And it's the leans, likes, and loves guy is
now. Are you
coming.
Leaning towards giving thanks, or are you actually going to be giving thanks?
I'm leaning towards giving thanks towards the leaners.
Live, lean, love is our new catchphrase here. We will be releasing some wall graphics. You can put a perfect for your powder room for you and the misses. I'm definitely taking the Raiders and the points here. 13 is way too much against this Chiefs team. I couldn't tell you the matchups that they're going to win or how it's going to happen, but 13 is a ton of points for a division game.
Yeah. worth there is a little like and again, I know this happened twice against the Broncos, but probably games that the Raiders cover more than they don't. As silly as that sounds, coming off a game where I think the score maybe stretched out a little bit more than the game actually reflected. Hopefully, Desmond Ridder doesn't completely screw the pooch on this one. Imagine trying to explain to someone you have a Black Friday deal on Desmond Ridder. It's tricky. Are you playing the anytime on Desmond Ridder? Any sort of first touchdown?
I mean, it's interesting if, to your point, if we hear reports that him and Aiden O'Connell are going to split time, that's not that interesting.
Well, I mean, quote unquote, and this is from 20 minutes ago, Aiden O'Connell preparing to start Friday. So,
okay. I thought they were going to go with Desmond Ridder because Ridder was the one they put in.
They don't want to go. Also, it seems like Antonio Pierce is a fan of Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, they tried everything they could to get him to win the job. He couldn't. They're like, shit, we're stuck with Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, so basically, it looks like there was some media availability in the last half hour, and based on that, it's being widely reported that Aiden O'Connell will be the guy. Yeah, big number. Take the points. Nothing more to say. Let's hop over to Sunday, Sean, where we have a nice slate. Of course, no buys this week. I didn't mention it up top, but no buys thanks to the holiday. We do have a bunch of buys next week for fantasy playoffs. Not good. But the game number 1, 7 games in the early window. So God's eye, perfect configuration. Tennessee, the Titans on a back-to-back road spot here, Sean. They head to our nation's capital to take on the Commander football team, Redskins. Redskins laying 5.5 minus 235 on the money line. Titans plus 205. 44.5 is the total. That's the Washington, definitely not off a bye, but Washington is one of the teams with the late bye week, and I don't know how we handicap at this point. We have six teams with bye weeks coming up. Baltimore, Denver, Houston, Indy, New England, and Washington. It's a late time to have a bye week. I think I only apply it to like the quit teams, but the way that this Commanders team has suffered a couple, emotional outcomes here in the last couple weeks, and the fact that we're, Cliff Kingsbury went to the podium and basically said, I have no awareness to the fact that my offenses suck in the second half of years. I'm not planning on adjusting to that at all. The fact that Dan Quinn literally just got smashed by his former team, who has nothing this year. It feels like whatever was happening in the beginning of the year is over, and that also leads me down the path of saying, how could I lay 5.5 with the Commanders?
Yeah,
but they play the Titans this week,
and we're fading the Titans coming off a win in which. Unfortunately, I know CJ got really far in one of those online survivors.
Oh, no.
He had the Texans.
Don't bring it up.
Fairbairn screwed him. I mean, when Will Levis threw that pick 6, I'm like, all right, Texans are good. They're gravy. Commanders have not looked great after that Hail Mary. Yes, they won that Hail Mary, and then they eked out a win and cover against the Giants, but then they lost a tough game against the Steelers. Kind of got worked against the Eagles, and then lost against a Cowboys team at home. Really, with the extra rest there. What's your take on Jaden Daniels? He's not running as much. I don't know if it's not the design runs aren't working.
I kind of thought in the game last week that he did start to run in the gotta have it moments.
Yeah.
Certainly
he did have 7 for 74. I guess it's just I don't know, something seems a bit off. Like the stuff that was working clearly for the offense earlier isn't working now. Also, this was a crazy game script in general. I mean, those you look at it was 20-9 with like 5:16 left. Then 20 to 17, then 20. Then you get the Cavante Turpin 99-yard.
Which, why are you like? It is a valid question. Why would you kick off to the Cowboys?
Well, and then they missed the kick to 80. McLaurin has that crazy pass to what they thought would be to tie it up. They miss the extra point, but doesn't matter because Cowboys return it for a touchdown with 14 seconds left. It was just an insane game.
It kind of feels like what we're watching is the fact that Jaden Daniels is just electric.
Yeah.
But the team itself, obviously there's issues. And I think from an offensive perspective, clearly the dirty secret, and we kind of got this from Coach Leach when talking to him about Kingsbury in Arizona. But the key to this offense, at least the way Kingsbury rolls it out, are the running backs.
Yeah.
And the running game,
which Titans are good at.
Well, not only can the Titans stop, but Eckler just got put. I mean, Eckler looked like he was in rough shape after that hit last week. Brian Robinson had a lower leg injury.
I don't know if he's playing.
So you're talking about they're without their top two guys. And yeah, it becomes that, what happens if Tennessee locks down the running game? Could you see this game going very similarly to the Tennessee Houston game last week, where Tennessee somehow is sticking around, the defense is keeping them in the game, and then there's a mistake or two? Dan Quinn plus Cliff Kingsbury. I feel like we're getting to the point where, the fuse is starting to go inside the mortar, and you're not exactly sure when the thing's going to explode. But we're getting there. I mean,
no, and the Titans have been playing good at the line of scrimmage. I'm always nervous when my brain allows some Titan optimism to creep in, but they didn't play horrible against the Vikings at home. They had some moments against the Chargers.
Will Levis did have another really bad throw. Like he still makes some
Westbrook in Keeney continues to be like an awesome anytime touchdown play.
Well, you can see the offense. The Callahan, 3 wide offense is starting to come to life.
What we were saying is finally happening. Yeah, I'm taking the Titans plus 5.5. The scary thing is,
will we be back on Will Levis to lead the league in passing yards next year?
Quietly, yes. I think we have to play it.
Yeah. What if the price is better?
We won't promote it, but I think we have to, because
we definitely have to promote it.
If he somehow wins it next year and then people come at us, oh, you fucking idiots, you bet him on the wrong year. And then that's when we pull the ticket out of our back pocket and go, ha. Yeah. But we won't mention it until it happens.
What they didn't realize was that that glowing ticket inside the leather football briefcase was actually for next year.
Yeah.
Not this year.
It was a time traveling thing. The scariest part though is Titans off a win. Don't like that aspect.
I mean, you could. I feel like you can just say Titans. You don't have to say Titans off a win. Titans also a big game against Jags next week. Is this potentially a sandwich spot? Unlikely.
No.
Unlikely.
But Tennessee is coming off an outright victory as a 7.5 point dog. Usually that's when you want to fade them. But I'll take the Titans in the 5.5. I think this is like 24-20 or even 21-17. I think the Tennessee defense will be able to your point, slow down the running backs of Washington and make this interesting.
I also saw that apparently one of the Hellman's mayonnaise making plants is not too far from where the Redskins play. So maybe Will Levis will have a tour of the factory. Could be a little distracted. No, you got to be stupid. This is going to be one we're going to regret.
Stefan is saying, is there a way to tap out on my Will Levis bet from this year? I'm tired of seeing it on my open bets.
No.
Yeah. See, Ryan and I invented an idea of a digital shredder. So when you're using a sportsbook like mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN, and the ticket's cooked, but it's still sitting there in the entire season, just rubbing your nose in it. They should have a shred button. Hey, I know what I'm doing. I'm putting this in the shredder for a reason, and then you can feel clean. You don't have to see it anymore.
Honestly,
people would like that option. I know my gambler.
If I was thinking about the technology, it's just the cash out button.
Yeah,
but
cash out is for
0%. Like the bet has a 0% chance.
Cash out for 0. Yes, get this thing out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you could probably even offer like points or free play, and people would love to do it. In the crypto world, they love giving you rewards for burning shit. All right, Chargers game number 2. Los Angeles Chargers coming off a tough loss. Turns out Jim is not as good as John, even though he was all week. I watched interviews where Jim was telling us he was better than his brother, not at coaching NFL football. And Sean, they're doing it to us again. We've been covering the NFL for almost 15 years. I can't remember a year where we've seen so many situations where one team is on extreme short rest and another team is on extreme long rest. The Chargers coming off the bye.
Falcons.
Sorry, Falcons coming off the bye. Chargers coming off the short rest. Chargers are still favored, Sean. -1.5, -124 on the money line, +106 for the Falcons. People are betting the Chargers. 75% of the bets. I did mark the Falcons as a sharp spot because I do think the rest disparity thing and the way the betting splits are starting to look indicates that. And last thing, haven't used the sandwich marker too many times this year, but this is an absolute sandwich spot for the Chargers. Who do they have on deck, Sean? The Chiefs in a primetime spot. So this seems like one of the clearer spots on the board to me. I think you got to fade the Chargers. Unfortunately, we've not been on the Falcons too many times this year, Sean, but you know that this rest spot this late in the season, coming off an emotional spot against his brother, like come on. And I think the Falcons are going to have some success passing the ball just like the Ravens did last night. I think we're going to see a lot of the similar type stuff work. And so, yeah, tough go for the tough little stretch here for the Chargers, but I'm going to take the Falcons as a home dog.
I see your case for the Falcons. I can't do it. I'm still in love with Harbaugh and this Chargers team.
You said he's a choke artist. You said he can't get it done in the close games.
No, but this is the type of games he can get it done, right? Afternoon, 10 a.m. kick on the road, not prime time against the team. Now, the fact that the road favorites is a little rough there. I do think their defense is better than what we saw last night against the Ravens. I think that was more about Ravens played a really good game. They clearly were motivated off the loss. That was part of my handicap, was being nervous about the Ravens off the loss. I ultimately stuck with the Chargers there, but I'll give it one more time with the Chargers. I just can't bet on this Falcons team, Ryan. I can't do it. I can't do it. I
it's
really
not a good
believe.
Reason to not make a bet.
What do you mean?
That you can't bet on them. This spot's telling you something.
I think the teams. I think the book is out on Kirk Cousins. They figured him out.
Be a sharp, Sean. Be a sharp.
No, thank you.
Non-conference road spot.
Yeah, Chargers
just played your brother, and you got the Chiefs on deck.
They're not looking ahead to the Chiefs. They need this to get in the playoffs. If anyone, the Falcons are feeling fat and happy
off the bye.
Yeah,
they've been thinking about football for extra time.
No, they're not thinking about football. Now they did get destroyed by the Broncos. I think the Broncos kind of showed you how to play this Falcons team. Okay. When was the last time the Falcons looked good, Ryan? Their 6-point victory against the Cowboys. They lost to the Saints. They lost to the Broncos. They barely beat the Bucks. They got destroyed by 20 by the Seahawks. I think like the last time they looked good was when they beat the Panthers 38-20. I am out on this Falcons team.
I think that's probably why they're home dogs.
Yeah.
But also we've not seen them play at home for a long time.
Chargers are always better on the road. They're just a classic better road team.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying we haven't seen the Falcons play many home games. And so I think off the bye, you're going to see the Falcons come out and play a tired Chargers team. Love this as a teaser leg too, Sean. Potentially a pleaser leg. I know there are a lot of pleasers hit this past weekend. Somehow we still missed them all. Not all, but we missed 2 out of 3 somehow. Pittsburgh game number 3, the early window. We got Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. Pittsburgh, of course, coming off that beautiful snow game featuring Jameis Winston, back-to-back road spot here. Bengals on the other side appear to be a sharp position. -2.5, -144 on the money line. 47 is the total. We do have a little It's not a sandwich spot because it's a divisional game, but Pittsburgh had Cleveland last week. They have Cleveland next week. Always weird when they do. Again, if they could just use AI and say, we don't want to play the same team in 3 weeks, twice in 3 weeks. And we don't want teams on 5 days rest to be playing teams on 14 days rest. It seems unnecessary. So, and we just said, Sean, we have to listen to what we say in the preseason when it comes to these divisional AFC North battles. But Tomlin's a dog again.
Yep.
Fuck. We got to take Tomlin.
Tomlin's a dog. That's all you need to know. What else is the handicap? Tomlin's a dog. TJ Watt coming off a game. disappointing game. They do have the extra Thursday rest to balance out the bye week stuff versus the Bengals.
Yep.
They're going to split with the Bengals. They'll probably beat the Bengals in Cincy and then lose outright at home.
Oh, that's an interesting
as the last game for the Steelers.
What are your thoughts on the conspiracy theory that the Pittsburgh home divisional games were all to do about Hard Knocks, pushing them all back to the end of the season like this, having all this late divisional action?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, they're doing that weird, like in season AFC North Hard Knocks, but if anything, you would want them earlier on in the season. Interest is higher in the season, towards the beginning there. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why they would push it later, but, certainly that Jameis Snow game, that's going to be awesome. The clips coming out of that were great, but
oh my goodness, it's just going to be, just make it a Jameis documentary.
I mean, that Steelers team, they removed the ball. Defense was playing like it was just a classic. Everything went wrong. Missed field goals, some random turnovers. I'm a little worried, I guess, about the Steelers offense, but I think
since he can't get a pass, since he does not have a pass rush, and you just have to, you deal with Hendrickson, and I think you can kind of handle it. And the times that the Arthur Smith offense has had time and been able to run the ball, which two things they should be able to do here.
Hendrickson is no Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett really was a game wrecker against this Steelers team. I don't see that happening again. Tomlin as a dog is all you need to know, really.
Yeah.
Steelers, let's go.
And you take the 2.5. You don't lay it, Sean. Which we'll put that to the test here. Game number 4 in the early window. We got the Colts and the Patriots. This game was more interesting when it was Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. Both teams looking towards the bye, not off the bye. -2.5 for the Colts on the road here. I think, do we take the 2.5 again? Plus 126 on the money line for the Patriots. 42 is the total. All right, so we've continually said the Patriots are an interesting team to look at gambling wise because Drake May basically.
Yeah, but then they haven't covered past couple.
And like this feels like maybe the softer matchup the Colts need. Could Anthony Richardson possibly get it done here on the road against a bad Patriots team?
And you can just see the weather now and some of those. I mean, can you imagine Anthony Richardson in weather, Ryan? Like if there's weather for this game, and I Kevin Roth weather report's not out yet, so who am I to?
We can't see the weather. It's the only weather report.
Now there is the. Do we go back to the biting kneecap trend because that was very good. Now there was that one. It basically the streak ended, but do we still look to fade Indy? They just played the Detroit Lions. We know.
Yeah, you have to. I think we can't hop off because it got derailed.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? 2 weeks, right? Because it was a loss. The Cowboys screwed it up, and then the Jags had a bye week.
Yeah. Though there were a couple buys in there, but for the most part,
I think we continue on.
The problem is I'm looking at these DVOA numbers you have, Ryan. A lot of dark red for the New England Patriots. They're not a good football team.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. Pretty bad when you look at the numbers.
What is the weather for Foxborough, Massachusetts? Come Sunday.
Good question. I think it's expected to be cold all across the north of this country.
No precipitation, but yeah, I mean, super chilly. You got a dome team outdoors.
It looks like a solid chance it's at or below freezing with the wind. What do you think Anthony Richardson is like in cold weather?
Yeah, he's trying. What is his history in cold weather? I know he basically went to Florida and then he played in a dome here in the NFL. I'm taking.
He has to deal with cold weather when he goes to his car.
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I would be willing to fade him because my theory on him is he's soft, mentally soft, physically soft. You know what hurts? Getting smashed in cold weather. Actually, the more that I talk this out, I love New England.
No, I mean, just imagine Anthony Richardson.
We need Drake May not to screw this up, but
yeah,
I love New England.
And I do think Bo Nix is playing better than Drake May. I understand people who are high on Drake May's ceiling, but I don't know. Drake May makes some questionable throws.
Yeah, I think Drake May and Bo Nix would be right there neck and neck in terms of long-term potential. Probably Drake May slightly higher.
Keelan Jackson saying the shed power must be on high demand this week. The boys don't sleep. Powering it through.
Also got Christmas lights up this week. Halfway done packing for the very a nice survival camping trip. Really been just grinding really hard this week.
Michael saying, and look, Michael's got an Italian flag on his face, saying, "Hey guys, not sure how many actual Italians are following you, but I believe Baker will not end up well with that disgusting act."
And we'll get to that game in a little bit. But, certainly an interesting bit of karmic energy.
Oh wow,
Baker Mayfield.
Well, in his defense, he did point out he met Tommy DeVito. He liked his celebration. It was an homage to Tommy.
I actually kind of felt like Baker being asked about it and then elaborating only made it worse. A tribute? You tribute dead people.
Ginger checking in on the chat saying just joined. Any Bo Nix talk yet? You just missed a little Drake May Bo Nix comparison. I surprisingly I like Bo Nix a little bit better.
Where does Bo Nix is Bo Nix a top 10 quarterback in your mind in the NFL?
I mean, if you were just basing it off quarterback play, no. But I think he's a top 10 quarterback head coach situation.
Okay.
Like because of the way they had the offense set up, because of their schedule, because of Peyton's play calling, I think he is top 10 in that sense.
And he's much further away from Kentucky/Florida to get those pain pills he loves. So that should keep
Bo Nix?
No, Sean Payton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Keep the offense on the up and up. That's why he had to go away. That's why the New Orleans time ended. He was too close to the situation. All right, game number 5. AFC South flow chart. Get it out because the Texans are heading to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is off the bye, Sean, and
did they forget to fire Doug Peterson?
They didn't fire Doug Peterson.
It was hilarious. Everyone goes, there are all these news stories. If Doug Peterson's coaching for his job against this Lions team, if he loses this game, he is going to get fired Monday morning.
Nope.
Everyone's they're assumed maybe they're gonna wait an extra day here for Doug P's firing, and then it just never came.
And then the news just went away. And the other surprise is that Trevor Lawrence appears like he's on the way back.
He might play.
Texans do have the bye on deck. They're laying 5 -225 on the money line. Jags +197. 43.5 is the total. 81% of the bets on the Texans. Why? What are we doing here with this Texans team? How can you go back to the well with them after that performance last week against the Titans?
This is the AFC South. We have to remind ourselves the AFC South is always a shit show, Ryan. And what would be more AFC South shit showy than
Doug P going on a run?
Than the Texans. Yeah, I just read an article about how they're not eliminated from playoff contention. It's a long shot. Hungry dogs run faster.
And
I love the Jags in this spot because I think Trevor Lawrence plays. I was watching him throw the ball in practice.
Yeah. So the Texans have won 6 straight in Jacksonville. We're getting to the flow chart. Are we concerned at all about that?
What is there?
Last 2 years, the Jags have won in Houston and the Texans have won in Jacksonville.
Okay.
Of course, the Texans already won that battle in Houston, 24-20.
So it's a reversal.
Could be a reversal, but the last time the Jags won at home was 2017. Sean, that was Blake Bortles.
Okay,
that was a good Jags team. Almost got to the Super Bowl.
And I get it. Texans are coming off a loss. Maybe they bounce back, but I think this is a weird Texans team where they got this big lead in the AFC South and they're slowly pissing it away. The Jags coming off the bye. They completely laid down for the Lions. This would have been a close your eyes special had not the bye broken it up. I think this is a fun play on the Jags. I don't know if Houston can really blow out a team. And last time we saw this Jags defense at home, they picked off Sam Darnold 3 times. CJ Stroud has really struggled with the turnovers.
He's not going to get there, but my idea that if his interception rate takes a step back, that he could be a live bet in the lead interception market. I think he was 48-1. I have tickets on him and Jordan Love. This is electric. Sean, let's look back all the way back to 2023.
Okay,
when this great quarterback class was drafted. Bryce Young, of course, was number 1. CJ Stroud, number 2. Anthony Richardson, number 4. Will Levis, number 33. Hendon Hooker, 68. And then we keep going down. We got Jake Haener, 127. Stetson Bennett was 128. Still haven't seen him in a while. Aiden O'Connell, 135. Clayton Tune, 139. DTR, 140.
Tune time.
Sean Clifford, 149. Jaron Hall, 164. Tanner McKee, 188, and Max Duggan, 239. Is CJ Stroud still the best quarterback of the draft class?
Yeah, but it's getting closer every week. Tanner McKee looked pretty sharp in preseason. I'll say that, Ryan.
How long before Bryce Young will be considered the best quarterback in this class?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, Bryce Young has looked better.
He's definitely, the Undertaker meme applies a little bit.
Yeah, he's not bowling out, but considering how bad he was, it is a nice improvement.
Coming off his best game ever.
Yeah, still lost though.
Game number 6 in the early window.
Best game ever, still loser.
Yeah, best game ever, still covered. Arizona taking on Minnesota. Tough one for my Cardinals last week, and another sandwich-ish spot, I believe, for the Cardinals. But they're catching 3.5 here on the road in Minnesota, plus 170 on the money line. 45 is the total. This feels a little bit more like the kind of spot we like our Cardinals in. I'm obviously going to be on the Cardinals here, and I was right. They had Seattle last week. They have Seattle next week. I don't know if that makes this a total sandwich spot, because obviously the Cardinals are fighting for a playoff berth, and they're fighting with Minnesota as one of those teams. This is a tricky one for me, because I sense that I have a lot of bias towards the Arizona Cardinals and against the Minnesota Vikings, but I love the Cardinals in a bounce back spot here. I think they've been battle tested.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's I just look at the Vikings being 9-2, and it doesn't make any sense. I know they started out so good.
No, it doesn't.
But then they've looked. I mean,
the defense is really good. The head coach is this offensive guru, and he's getting a lot from Sam Darnold. But week over week, you just see that across the board in the advanced analytics stuff. You just see Sam Darnold is starting to be the anchor, dragging this offense down. And
he played like a somewhat clean game last week, but Bears miraculously got that cover.
He's Sam Darnold. And I think now that we're coming down the stretch, more critical spots, he's going to be interesting. They are blocking for him, and this does project to be a situation where they should be able to have some success keeping the Arizona pass rush at bay. But I think we continually see that Gannon can create confusion, and that's gonna be the problem for Darnold, just like it was for Geno at times last week. Even though Geno and they got it done. You take away the pick 6 for the Cardinals last. I understand it. Kyler threw it, but you take away that, a couple calls. There's definitely some fortunate things happen for Seattle. Obviously I love Arizona here. Money line play loading.
Yeah, man, this one's tough because I do feel like I'm biased against this Vikings team.
Yeah,
I'll take Arizona in the 3.5. This feels
quietly like, Arizona, good defense. 11th in DVOA.
This does feel like a field goal game. I'm a little nervous about maybe we're fading because Minnesota coming off the 3 road games, now they're at home. Maybe this is the ultimate get right spot game, and I do think their defense matches up okay against them. Brian Flores against Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray kind of got exposed there a little bit against Mike McDonald defense. I mean, they didn't score a touchdown, Ryan. That was pretty bad.
I agree, but I watched the game. It was just a strange, wet divisional game. I think it was more wet. I think it was more than that. And no,
I'll take the 3.5 because even if they're down 10, you do think this Cardinals team has the ability to score quickish. And look at Caleb Williams. He was similar, probably ability to run around like Kyler. A lot of scampering going on, right?
One of 6 teams in the NFL that is top 12 in offensive and defensive DVOA. So
Kyler Murray rush yards props. Look out for those. And we will be talking props on the VSiN show. CJ filling in for Kramer, and then a lot more props than normal on the pregame show Sunday, noon East, 9 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. It's a great time to kick off a pregame show. So if you're looking for more props, and now we did the Thanksgiving only props episode, but if you're looking for some Sunday action, make sure you hit us up on the pregame show. And perfect transition to Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Get in over there. Get your 50% deposit match up to $1,000 when you use the promo code SGPN. Kramer, what's an underdog aspect entry you like here?
A fantasy projection that I like.
Yes, that's obviously what I was.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to articulate it clearly for the audience. Make sure their fantasy projection brain has been turned on. Let's see here, because I know they've opened up a lot of the projections for Sunday. A lot of basic yardage, touchdown stuff. Let's see. We just talked about the Chargers Falcons game. Not a ton in there that's open. Will Levis passing yards is 206.5. Sean,
we should put it in there just for old times' sake.
Let's get that on the card.
Big Willie style, higher Will Levis passing yards. There's, I mean, the one angle I'm looking at. Do we go back to the Brock Bowers? Well, because he is just this Chiefs team. Jatavion Sanders got knocked out of the game. We actually got that rescued. Thank you, Underdog, for his higher a touchdown.
Yeah.
But Brock Bowers against this Chiefs defense,
third favorite to win the Rookie of the Year.
Now they don't have his yardage. Are we okay with a Brock Bowers to get into the end zone against the Chiefs? Okay,
that's the way to play.
Yeah, 1.8, little spicy play there on Underdog. So if you bet or entered $100 over an Underdog Fantasy, higher Brock Bowers a half rushing receiving touchdown, higher Will Levis 206 passing yards, you would return 561. And of course, you can get some free play by going to underdogfantasy.com, promo code SGPN.
Your mountain time zone propaganda was unexpected this morning. Perhaps
really rattled you.
Perhaps maybe it's just because you had to wake up early this morning. And you're zoomed in a little too close to the now. All right, last game in the early slate: Seattle Seahawks take on the New York Jets. A lot of drama coming out of Jets land. Woody and Aaron not getting along. Feels like a real telenovela. Jets are catching 1.5 points at home, plus 105 on the money line. Seahawks are catching 88% of the bets. 42.5 is the total. And like I mentioned earlier, this is a little bit of a sandwich spot for the Seahawks and the Cardinals as they play each other twice in 3 weeks here. For the Seahawks, instead of having a critical playoff road conference game in the middle, they have a non-conference battle against the completely dysfunctional Jets. I'm still not a believer of this Seahawks team.
No, this is
the fact that they're laying points on the road feels like one of the crazier numbers. I understand there's question about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers released that he doesn't want to be on the team.
Did he release that?
100%. 100%.
You think he caused that to be leaked out?
Yeah. Okay. Who else would leak that out?
No, I didn't actually double click on it because it was very tabloidy to me, and so I just moved on. But I didn't go and see where the origin of that.
Aaron Rodgers wanting to play next year, but not for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is the only one person putting that out.
Our hero has come to the end of his story and adventure with the New York media.
This game is impossible because who wants to bet on Seattle as a road favorite against this Jets team? But you cannot bet on this.
I love this Jets game right here.
Oh, you're crazy.
What do you mean?
I'm taking Seattle all day.
Really?
Yes. Have you watched the Jets team?
That's fine.
Okay.
I don't. Have you watched Geno?
Yeah,
it is a Geno revenge spot.
Geno waking up feeling dangerous.
I think Geno's going to turn the ball over multiple times. I think they're going to be able to work the running backs in the passing game.
That's fine. Have you seen the Jets figure out how to lose every single game?
You can't.
Have you seen pouty Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
You can't lay points with the Seahawks, but you can't bet on the Jets.
I'd rather bet on the Jets than lay points on the road with the Seahawks.
Well, that's the conundrum we're in. Jets. You might recall
difference in the game. I'll make a prediction. The difference in this game, the Jets can still get after the quarterback, and when Geno gets pressure, he fucking sucks. That's the difference in the game.
Difference
Love it
is
as a teaser.
Geno revenge game. Oh, teasing the Jets. Now you're insane.
He can hand deliver that letter he's been trying to write back all these years to the Jets. All right. And some kids are too young to remember that Geno was a first round pick out of West Virginia. All right, 3 games in the late window, Sean. Why do they keep doing this to us? Carolina has played in these isolated 3-game late windows on now 4 occasions this year. Seems intentional. In this case, the Bucs are coming to town to play on the long grass of Carolina. 46 total with that long grass, but the Bucs are laying 5.5 on the road, -235 on the money line. 84% of the bets coming in on the Bucs. What could possibly go wrong? Bucs on a back-to-back road spot. Bucs coming off a game where Baker Mayfield slandered Italian Americans everywhere, and Matt Canales revenge spot here, Sean. Any chance we can continue to go back to the Panthers well here for another week?
Yeah, I mean, I see the appeal. Certainly, the strength of the Bucs is their interior defensive line. Adam Thielen, he's going to be an interesting guy when we talk some props later on in the week. Probably would have been a fun guy to put in the underdog entry. He's kind of come back to life. And Bryce Young playing some YOLO ball, but yeah. Ultimately, for me, I'm still sticking with Baker Slayfield going out there getting it done. Baker is highly motivated. You got Mike Evans back. He was getting worked into the offense. You can run on this Panthers team. I don't know why, and maybe the Chiefs were able to move the ball fairly easily against this Panthers team.
What happened then?
I think they were asleep at the wheel. I mean, Mahomes had a pretty good game, 27-37, 269, 3 touchdowns. I think the QB scramble is going to be open. That's another interesting prop angle. Looking at Baker Mayfield rushing yards. This Panthers defense is still pretty bad, and the fact that the Chiefs offense, which has struggled, was able to put up 30 points fairly easily. Noah Gray got 2 touchdowns. Kicking myself for not being on that angle, but Patty Mahomes 5 for 60. This Bucs offense is going to be able to move the ball against the Panthers. I think Bucky Irving has a nice matchup as well.
Are we short selling the Panthers offense looking like competent against a very good defense in Kansas City? We're just throwing away the idea.
No,
that
that's
spot.
I think that's a good angle. If you're high on the Panthers, you say, look, they went up against one of the best defenses in the league, and they were able to move the ball. And then Tampa Bay has some weaknesses they can exploit. I think attacking Thielen in the prop game, maybe Leggett, Coker, like there's interesting angles. Shout out to the Coke heads who are big Jalen Coker fans. I'm just ultimately going to be on the Bucs here. I still have a lot of love for this Bucs team. Baker still has a lot of swag. The Mike Evans connection started to warm up, wasn't even red hot. I mean, you look at like the advanced stuff. The Panthers are still a very bad team. They're playing better, and this is probably what scares me off from locking this up. But I'm still on the Bucs laying 5.5.
Yeah, good luck. Mike Evans has had some good games against the Panthers in the past, but his last one was only 3 catches for 22.
You're
yards.
taking the Panthers.
Yeah. Canales revenge spot. The strength of the Panthers has been the offensive line, 3rd in adjusted line yards on offense, 5th on defense. The Bucs aren't the run defense they typically are, and I think they'll be able to do something a little bit about the pass rush. And so, I'm sorry, adjusted line yards on offense and adjusted sack rate on offense. And so I think with that gives Bryce Young some time. He's making the anticipatory throws, and the back end of the Bucs is the weakest part of that defense. So yeah, I'm taking the points. A lot of dogs on the card this week, Sean. I only have 2 favorites, I think, so far.
It's historic.
It really is, between this and college football.
And they're both on Thanksgiving.
You're
on every dog on NFL Sunday.
What could go wrong? Game number 2 in the late window. We got the Los Angeles Rams coming off a thumping at the hands of the Philadelphia Eagles, heading across the country to Nolans to take on the Saints. Saints a little bit of rest. Got the knife there because it does seem like some sharps are finding them way to the Saints. I heard this by now multiple people. By the way, 75% of the bets on the Rams laying 2.5, -144 on the money line. 48.5 is the total. Merry Risness for Darren Rizzi.
He's the Rich Bisaccia of 2024.
Great Italian American. I mean, you have an interim coach with some extra time to prepare.
More Taysom Hill packages. Why did the Rams get run all over? I think part of it was poor tackling, that D getting pushed around. Now the Eagles have a very good offensive line. Saquon Barkley, a once in a generation type player. So certainly no one on the Saints can match that, but I do think this is a good matchup for Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara. This Saints offense, I think, could be able to move the ball against this Rams team. And I don't know, that feels like kind of a dream crusher game here for the Rams. Now, maybe not. They're still in the mix for the NFC West.
Cam Jordan was on the Fox pregame this past week. He was the one that I first heard say Merry Risness. He also talked about how he, the cliche stuff, got the ping pong table out of the locker room, changed around some stuff. But he also, when they asked him, like, what are you guys thinking about in terms of the upcoming games, off season? He's like, well, we're going to win the division. And they looked at him like, are you serious? Look at the teams ahead of us. We're going to win this division. So I think the belief, starting with Darren Rizzi, is there. Love this as a get up spot for this Saints team. Love this as a home explosion spot.
Well, and did you read this, Ryan? Demarcus Robinson arrested early morning Monday, hours after Rams lost. He was doing 100 miles per hour and got a DUI. So, and he's a big part of their
in LA.
Yeah, which is crazy because driving around in LA just to find a stretch of road where you could hit 100 miles per hour.
There's a couple of things here. One, LA is a little different than a lot of places I've lived. The cops very rarely hide out to try to hit you with speeding tickets here too. You don't have those same kind of speed trap elements. So he must have been driving like a real dickhead. Also, you're in LA. How do you not get a fucking Uber? This is I don't get it. These cheap motherfuckers. That's what it is. They don't want to pay. Athletes don't want to pay for anything.
Saints plus 2.5 all day.
Do you like it as a teaser leg?
No.
It's a great teaser leg. Third game in the late window, the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Eagles on a back-to-back road spot here. Plus 2.5, plus 120 on the money line, minus 138 for the Ravens. 50.5 is the total. Who, by the way, the Ravens do have that bye week on deck. Lamar, very, 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 very productive against the NFC.
Yeah.
In fact, he's only ever lost to Daniel Jones.
Yep.
Why is this not 3? Like, I'm not trying to throw shade. Why is this not 3? Why is this not 3?
Well, because Eagles are going to win. They're going to cover the game. So
why is it not 3?
I don't.
What am I missing? Why is this not 3?
I don't think 3 is the default home spread anymore.
So on a neutral site, the Eagles are favored.
I think it's probably a pick, and I think they're probably grading the Ravens home field is 2.5. I'm telling you, I don't think people give 3 points for home field anymore.
They don't. But in this case, how is this not a 3-point spread?
I'll take 3 points, but I don't think they're going to need it. The Eagles are going to be able to exploit this Ravens defense. You saw a lot of drop balls, a lot of wide open receivers going through that Ravens secondary. The Ravens don't have a good secondary. They're leading the league in yards given up, touchdowns to the receiver position. AJ Brown is going to have a massive spot. You have Saquon Barkley having a career year, and you have the get up spot for Brandon Graham, one of the locker room leaders, veteran, having a great season. Unfortunately, now out for the rest of the year. Went out on his shield like a true warrior. This team will get up for him, and the Fangio defense. There's some skepticism on his style coming in, but they've really shown an ability to clamp down on offenses. Quinyon Mitchell continues to dominate opposing receivers, has not let up a pass touchdown so far this season, and just done an excellent job in coverage. I think they're really going to be able to dominate, especially on the offensive line, pushing around this Ravens defense. The Ravens, I think they're worried about the rest of the AFC, and I think they're looking past this Eagles team towards the bye week and a AFC North run. So I think the Eagles are a live dog here.
There's no way they're looking past that game. That a lot of what you said was fair. That's not fair. That's
can't make this Eagles team a dog right now. That to me is crazy. You want to? I'll pull up our buddy.
You can't just say they're going to push around a team that is sporting a like. I do think the Ravens are not a team that they're just going to walk in and push around. I think they're very similar in that regard. And I think on the offensive side, I think the Ravens could push around the Eagles. Just as
so if you're a yardage guy, if you're looking at like yardage differential, Eagles number 1 in the league, 1,259. Second, 49ers, 883. Ravens, 853 in third place.
Come on. We know ball. That's an irrelevant stat. Total yardage differential.
Yeah, they're dominating. They're dominating these
Eagles
teams.
12th in weighted DVOA on offense. Ravens first. I like that. Like bring up EPA. Bring up stats that actually matter.
EPA. Eagles very good in EPA.
Yeah, I'm just saying they're not number 1 by a wide margin. Like you're going to bring up a net yardage thing that is very framed for your point. I don't think. And your idea that they're just going to casually dominate the line of scrimmage in this game, I think, is not accurate.
Okay. I think they dominate top to bottom. So love the Eagles here.
And I think okay, we'll see. Jalen Hurts is going to have to win this one with his arm.
Yeah, not a problem.
Should be 3. Lay it.
Laying 2.5. Didn't you just remind people not to do that in this episode?
I agree, but there are times just like the Packers last week where I identify a clear mistake by the odds makers. Don't watch the games.
Packers were 2, not 2.5.
There were some 2.5s out there, but I appreciate your
shop
efforts.
around to find the 2.5.
Shop around and find the. I'd rather lay 3 here than 2.5. Sunday Night Football. Sean, you wouldn't believe it, but the San Francisco 49ers are a close your eyes special, catching 7 points on the road against Buffalo, plus 265 on the money line. Bills minus 320. 45 is the total. 86% of the bets coming in on the Bills laying the touchdown, and Niners also in a back-to-back road spot. Tough situation for not our San Francisco 49ers. It does sound like Brock Purdy could play. If Brock Purdy plays, don't you have to take the Niners? Yeah.
And I mean, the Bills are kind of in cruise control here a little bit. Like, what's their motivation to blow out this 49ers?
Well, listen to their schedule coming off the bye. They have the Niners, then at Rams, at Detroit, New England, Jets. No,
New England. I know they want to keep pace with the Chiefs for the number 1 seed, but is there any motivation for them to destroy and blow out this 49ers team? I don't think so. And then, I mean, just start with the close your eyes specialist. 49ers team is playing for their damn lives.
Yeah. Elimination game.
Yeah. This is an elimination game for a desperate team. There's a chance Bosa plays, which obviously is huge. Purdy plays. I think they shoot up everyone with everything. They get out there and they have a chance to win this game. If not, they're going to hang around. So 7 is way too much. The close your eyes special. If I was on the fence, that won me over. So yeah, San Francisco all day.
Yeah. If they lose, they will 100% be 2 games back because Seattle and well, I guess they'll be at worst 1.5 games back, but yeah, no, it feels very much like a must win game.
Yeah. All in on 49ers.
Yeah, we go to the church, which the close your eyes special this year, Sean.
Yes.
6 and 8 ATS.
Okay.
Now, if you exclude the Cowboys and the Panthers,
you can't exclude those teams anymore.
You exclude the Panthers and the Cowboys.
Panthers are good. Apparently
it's 6 and 4. So, all right, last game, Monday Night Football, the Cleveland Browns. We get more Jameis in prime time, Sean. They're heading to Denver to take on your Broncos. Broncos laying 5.5, minus 240 on the money line. Browns plus 208. As I mentioned earlier, Browns in a little bit of a sandwich spot as well. As the league gifted them with one of those, you're going to play this team twice in 3 weeks. They have the Steelers on deck at Pittsburgh.
Yeah. I mean, this is just where are my believers at? Cause I'm a believer. This is, I mean, obviously I'm going to be on the Broncos here. The Broncos are the superior team. They're playing at a high level, getting that road win, covering a hostile division environment there.
It's a big number.
But now you're at home. This is an awesome time. And really it's a great time to fade the Browns. in retrospect, it should have been obvious okay, of course the Browns are going to lose to the Saints. They're looking ahead to this Steelers game, which becomes their Super Bowl. I mean, they're making documentaries, the Snowgate. It was a spectacle. The crowd was packed, and now you got to go on the road against a non-division opponent with the Steelers game looming ahead. You don't have a chance for the playoffs. Now you're playing at elevation against a team that matches up very well against you. This is an awesome spot for this Broncos team. Broncos lay the 5.5 all day.
My one concern here is the defensive line for the Browns being able to potentially take over the game. But it should. I mean, the Broncos have held
Broncos offensive line. That to me is an underrated aspect on this team. Everyone thinks, oh, Sean won't shut the fuck up about Bo Nix, and that's true. But really, Bo Nix is playing well because he's got a tremendous amount of time. And I don't know if it's necessarily the offensive line or the scheme or whatever, but it's working. Like, he has a very clean pocket to operate from. He has very easy reads to make, very quiet footwork, and he executes it. And I thought even there were some tough spots for him. But he made some big throws. And I think Cortland Sutton could have a very good game against this Browns secondary. You know, the Steelers weren't able to execute. Some of it was the weather. Some of it's Russell Wilson. Some of it was that Browns defensive line getting up and exploiting the Steelers O line. But I think Broncos smash spot here.
I don't know if I'd call it a smash spot. It's never a smash spot to go against Jameis, but I do think Denver's the right side. Bo Nix leading the 20th offensive DVOA right now. Through the air. Yeah, you nailed it. The difference is they get after the quarterback, second adjusted sack rate, and they protect the quarterback, fourth in adjusted sack rate.
So you're taking the Broncos, right?
I am.
Hey, time for our lock, dog, and tease, brought to you by Rhythm Sports Gambling Podcast.com/RITHMM. Get in over there. Start building your own NFL models. Great for props as well. Always rely on it for the prop show, and great to have some numbers backing up some of my hunches and gut handicapping. Ryan, my model likes this Cardinals Vikings game. They're suggesting Cardinals on the money line plus 157. I'm sure you don't need to be talked into that, but always good to have the AI data crunching to back your gut handicap. And sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get your 7-day free trial. You will not regret it. Kramer, what do you got?
Lock Packers -3. Lock Ravens -2.5.
Packers -3. Other lock.
Ravens -2.5.
Wow.
Dog.
Wow.
Cardinals on the money line.
Sorry, Cardinals on the money line. Okay, Arizona
+170.
Okay.
And for those who wonder, the sheet is Circa odds about an hour before we record. So Tease, just what a delight. I mean, Stanford Wong is going to be just throbbing, rock hard with all these Wong opportunity teasers. As much as I'd like to put there's a lot of gross situations here. All right, we're going to take the Saints up to 8.5. We're going to take the Steelers up to 8.5. And we're going to take the Falcons up to 7.5. You like how I avoided the Patriots and the Jets in one Phelps swoop?
All right. Let's see here. A lot of interesting spots. Okay, here. I'm going to go for my first lock. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles +2.5. Just a great spite play to cancel out Ryan's lock. My other lock, give me Denver -5.5. Although I also do like San Francisco on the money line. And yeah, let's go.
We should have done the bit where I filled out your card for you. I would have nailed this week.
Oh, you call it the Eagles. I got to put them in the lock.
Should be 3.
Do I like the Steelers on the money line, or do I like? I mean, Steelers as a dog is always a bucket. I do like the 49ers to cover. Yeah, go big or go home. Give me the 49ers on the money line +265 right now. That is a great price. For my tees, I like Ryan's Saints up to 8.5. I like Tampa Bay, get them down to a pick or +0.5 there. And then Arizona up to 9.5. Feels like a good tease. All right, so Ryan, what are we doing for our Circa million? Green Bay -3.
Check.
Denver -5.5.
Check.
I like playing both our dogs here.
Check.
Arizona +3.5. San Francisco +7. What's one we both agree on?
I was gonna say the ones that came close for me.
Steelers +2.5. Steelers as a dog is kind of our brand.
Atlanta was close, but you're on the Chargers. Steelers has been a brand play. Also, we disagree on some of the other ones. Jacksonville or New England, I'm guessing we don't want to be interested in. Tennessee feels cute. Raiders feels cute. Yeah, I mean, laying it with the Lions. Yeah, I think maybe we do just take the Steelers, right?
Pittsburgh +2.5. Tomlin as a dog. What more do you need to know? Dog. I mean, so if something's hidden at 60%, I need a really good reason not to take it. Shout out to
the Saints would be the other one.
Okay,
but I'm okay. I'm okay. Not bad. I mean, Darren Rizzi might just win Italian American of the week again.
We'll see. You're bringing it back next week. Nick Sirianni in the mix.
No. He. We'll see. He's not. He kind of is half. He's a runt. I bet he's a half.
How dare you, Ryan? Hey, make sure you cash in on our Black Friday sale starting Thanksgiving Thursday all the way to Sunday. 25% off everything. Tune in to the VSiN show. We're going to be live from the LA studio. CJ filling in for Kramer, 11 o'clock East, 11 p.m. East Friday night. We got a jam-packed pregame show. Get some bonus props and check out the Thanksgiving prop show. We have a college football episode, the college basketball episode. So many great picks, and toss us a nice 5-star rating. I know a bunch of great reviews came in. We'll get to those on maybe next Sunday's recap show. Jam-packed schedule, Ryan, and of course.
Thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the money green. He's Ryan.
Have a great Thanksgiving, Sean.
Kramer, let it ride.